G'day YouTube. Just a quick video of me replacing my front door. This is a project I've been wanting to do for some time, but doors, particularly entry doors, are quite expensive. This door is a $530 door that I've picked up for $60 off Gumtree, and it's quite damaged. It's got a lot of dings and scratches in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repair the door. I'm going to install the door furniture, and then I'm going to hang the door as well. So I'll just show you how I'm doing that. So to start with, what I've done is I've measured up to the bottom of the existing door and cut a couple of blocks to sit the new door on so I can hang it. So you can see I've already hung it. And the hinges all match up to where the old hinges were going. So basically I think a chippy's bought this door and something's happened, he's dinged it or whatever, and they've just left it on the job and I've picked it up cheap. So you can see here all the scratches. There's quite big scratches all over this door. So what I've done is I've bogged the bigger holes and then I've gone over them with a final finish, like a skim coat, like a topping plaster, and then I'm going to paint the door white. So I'm using an orbital sander to get a really nice finish on this door. So there's actually two, and I'm going over these 2 or 3 times, plastering these dings there. So you can see there's quite a scratch there, and this is just a temporary door handle you can see there. I'm doing them 2 and 3 times and then sanding them with a block sander. To get them all perfect, so you won't see any of this when the door's painted. So you can see that I've got it opening. I haven't got any locks or anything on it yet. Even the corners of this door were quite damaged. They've been either bashed on the concrete. You can see a repair I'm doing there with some builder's bog. That's stuff you just mix up some hardener and basically put it on like plaster and then sand it. It's quite hard to sand, that's why I'm using the orbital. It's a lot faster. So you can see there cracks all over. That's the old door, so that's the door I wanted rid of. I bought some new hinges. It's quite a heavy door with 3 hinges on it. That's a temporary door handle again I've just put on. So just going over these with a fairly fine disc on the orbital sander at low speed, just very low speed, and getting it all perfect. I'll also go over those edges so they're not sharp. And I actually got to the stage of undercoating this door, so this is undercoated, and then because what will happen is you'll prep it, and then you'll look at the door after you've prepped it, and you'll see things that you couldn't see before. So there's a few things that have shown up after I've prepped the door. I'd say the door's had a bit of rain on it or whatever, and there's a light veneer on the front of it. It's meant to be a solid timber door, and this is the best you get nowadays, is some of them have got veneer on them. And it's basically bubbled up a little bit. So what I've done is I've grinded it out with an angle grinder, bogged it again, and then skimmed it twice. And then I've used an orbital sander over the top of that. What I'm doing is I'm undercoating it again, having another look at it. And basically I ended up doing this about 6 times because it's an entry door, and the way the light hits this door is you see every little ding on the front of it. So it's my entry to my house. I want it to look good. So I've done it, 6 or so times. The whole project took me about a day and a half, which sounds ridiculous, but it's just a long process, hanging a door, fitting the locks, painting it, prepping it, especially if it's got a lot of damage on it, I probably spent 3 hours in total just prepping this door. So you can see there the lock, the template for fitting the lock, I had to drill with a spade bit. I had to drill about 10 or so holes in that to quite a depth, just so I could get the lock in there. So you can see there, that's the templates for the side of the door and the front as well. And I've just put a hole in that with a pencil and traced that on the door so I know where to drill it. And those are the holes I had to do on the side to fit that the locking mechanism. It's quite large. Now this is where the lock plate is fitting on the door jamb. Now the old locks basically come out of there and it was already holes chiseled in there, so this is just a temporary repair, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut out this door jamb and replace it with a stronger piece of timber, but this is just to make it look pretty for the time being until I come back and replace my screen door, which I'll probably do this weekend. But basically the holes there don't actually match up to that, so I had to make new holes to fit the new bracket. And then I've used builder's bog to bog the gaps that were going to be around that. There was nothing I could do to avoid that. So what I've done is I've put it in, I've screwed it in place, and I've bogged it all and smeared bog all over the plate there. And then I've taken it off at the end and I've used metho to wipe the bog off, the stains off it. Then you get a perfect fit for painting. This is suitable for a small repair if it's not going to be a structural problem. But because this is an entry door and it's got a deadbolt on it, this may create a problem if someone wants to kick it in. So I am going to actually come back and cut out that door jamb, replace probably a 3-4 foot section of door jamb and screw it in with about 100 screws, and then it will be fine. So there'll be no bog in there. This is just to make it look pretty for the time being. But just showing you what can be done with builder's bog. You can actually do quite a lot of repairs with it. So there's the door. I think I've got my second coat of gloss on that at the moment. I've fitted the door locks and everything, the handles. I spent about $150 on locks, handles, and all kinds of stuff like that. So there's a bit of money. It ended up costing me $200, painted, fitted. It took me about a day and a half. So it saved me about $1,000, I figure. So what was the advantage of doing this, going to all this trouble? Well, money. Cost me a lot in time, but it cost me $60 for the door. It cost me $150 in locks. I probably saved $800 to $1,000 doing this myself. I had the paint in the shed, so that's something that I'm a painter, that's something I've got a lot of. So just a massive cost saving, something like this. Anyways, thanks for watching.